Shalom lekulam. Today on Hebrew Book Review, I'm going to talk about a book called Bachavah, which means on the farm. Welcome back to Hebrew Book Review. Today I'm reviewing this adorable little board book called Bachavah, which means on the farm. It looks like this book was originally put out in French by Éditions Gallimard Jeunesse. Can you tell I don't speak French? The Hebrew edition is published by Matar Publishing House. It's a board book, so the pages are nice and stiff, and the cool thing is that each page has sound effects. If you push, it's pretty clear where you need to push. You push the button. So it is 0% religious. I mean, it has 6 words in it, and every single one of them is the name of a farm animal. What religion could be in there? The font is not too typical. It's this kind of blocky font, but I like it. It's pretty easy for kids to read, especially new learners. And there is no cursive, and it's written in Ktiv Chaser, which you can tell by the title. If this were written in Ktiv Maleh, it would have 2 vavs. Before using this book, the student does not need to know anything. I mean, the parent could be reading this with an infant and just talking to them about it and, pressing the buttons to make the sounds. The students don't really even need to know how to talk yet in any language. But the parent does need to be able to read Hebrew because there's no transliteration. Obviously, the parent is going to be able to figure out what animal each one is by the pictures, but so they don't need like a translation. But the more Hebrew that the parent speaks, the better, because of course you don't want to just open the page and say, oh look, barvaz, right? You want to maybe talk about, oh, hine barvaz b'mayim ba'agam. Mahu omer. Where is it? Mahu omer. Hu omer. Right? So the more that you can do in Hebrew, the more it's going to enhance your little one's Hebrew knowledge. And so it's basically just a book all about farm animals. It just gives the word, like I said, it is 6 words long. It gives the names of 6 different farm animals, and of course we can hear the sounds that they make. I do wish I had had this book with for my son when he was little, but I didn't get serious about multilingualism until he was about 4 or 5. But even so, what we did was we went through it when he was basically really learning how to read, and he was able to read words with multiple syllables. At first, what I had done with him was I made words for him to practice reading. I wrote them down for him to practice reading, and they were all just the names of characters he knew, because he didn't really know a lot of Hebrew words. But it was great to be able to use this book to finally get him actually reading actual Hebrew words and then having fun with it, because he was, he looked forward to it, to press the buttons and make the noises happen. And he also learned the words for the animals, and the illustrations are just so cute, and they're simple. They've got bright colors. So I really, really enjoyed using this book with him. And if your kid is ready for it, you might ask about the other items in the picture. So like this picture, you can ask about the trees. Oh, ma ele etzim, ma ze papar, ze bayit. Or like with this page here, ele pitriot, yesh parpar. Or even kama chazironim yesh shnaim. And you can work on the numbers or whatever. There's so many different ways to use a board book or a book like this, even with children who are a little bit older than who it's intended for. Another great thing is this battery situation. You lift up this little flap and you've got an on-off switch. And this book, I've been using it for at least 5 years, and by switching off look, it's just a little switch. By switching this off, then it doesn't make any of the sounds happen, and that saves your battery, and it might also save your sanity a little bit. But this book, we've been using it we've had it for at least 5 years, and you can hear the battery is still working. So, but if not, it looks like that battery is also replaceable. I mean, I only have the one kid, but if you're a big family and you're trying to teach them all, right, you might need that battery to last a lot longer. So, you can always turn it off and then replace the battery when you need to. One weird thing is that it is set up like a left to right book. So Hebrew books would normally, if you see a book like this on the shelf, you expect this to be the front cover, and then you start reading here, right? And it doesn't really matter in a book like this, but yeah, the front cover is in the wrong place. And it doesn't matter, because you could read any of these pages in any order. It's not a story. It doesn't need to follow it doesn't follow a sequence. So you could read them in any order. But to me, that was one of the things that was took a little bit of doing, was to get my kid to remember to open a Hebrew book on the other side. That took him some time to remember to do. And so this book is a little bit of a step backwards in that respect. And also, this didn't apply to us, but if you're a parent who's kind of trying to learn Hebrew with your kid, you're not really going to be able to talk all that much about everything else on the page, and even the words, if you don't read Hebrew well, you might not be 100% sure on your translation, or on your pronunciation. Then there's nothing in the book itself to help you. So one thing to get around that is that you can look at this word and say, gosh, how is that pronounced? And go find it. If you go to a place like payalim.com, you can most likely find this word. It will have a transliteration that includes where the stress is. So if you're looking at it, you're like, is it Baravaz or is it Baravaz, right? Palim, that's one thing I love about them, is that they indicate the stressed syllable. And then, however it's going to help you, you write it on a sticky note and you stick it on the page so that you can, so that when you're reading it with your youngster, you don't struggle over the pronunciation. That's how I would get around that. Okay, so that's it for today. I know it was a shorty, but this was a really fun book, especially when we're learning how to, read a little bit longer words in Hebrew. We forget as adults, we forget that sometimes being able to read a word with 4 letters in it and then 3 or 4 vowels, that can be tough for a new reader in Hebrew. And so having a book that's simple like this and just has 1 word per page, that can really be a stepping stone towards then reading maybe little short phrases and then, of course, eventually sentences and texts. So if you're looking for it, this is the cover. Look for this little symbol that tells you that it's got sound effects in it. And I'm sure there are multiple books that are called On the Farm. And so this is the one you're looking for. So that's it for today. If you have any questions or feedback, leave it in the comments and I will do my best to respond. Also, if you have a book that you'd like me to review, let me know and I will put it on the list. Hit like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to see more. See you next time.